Hey everyone, how's it going? This is James from A Tin Robot Games, and oh man, what an exciting day! We launched Garden Geckos this morning, 9 a.m. It's now 11:06, and we are imminently close to funding, which is crazy. Oh, we got some people joining already. So we got Instagram, Free the Meeple, Endo Girl, Meeple Cards. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know if TikTok is going to show through. For some reason, my streams have been actually showing on TikTok. It's just in the dashboard. I can't see it until we basically end the stream, which sucks because I can't actually take people's comments. But hey, if you're here on Instagram, feel free to throw any questions into the chat and I'll do my best to answer. It's really an Ask Me Anything today. I'm going to watch the ticker on this this campaign. We're 2 pledges away, it looks like, from from funding, which is crazy. So oh my God, what an exciting day. So what I'm going to do on this stream is I'm going to spend probably the next hour up until about lunch. I'll grab some food, but I'm going to go through the campaign. I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that we have. I'm going to do some show and tell, show you what you have. I'm going to talk about bunny drops as well. So I know Endo Girl, who's in the stream right now, she's the actual creator of bunny drops. It's one of the add-ons to this campaign. And certainly if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to throw it in the chat, and I'll do my best to give you my thoughts. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Andrew Gilpin just joined from Gilpin Games. Andrew is one of the rule book ninjas. This guy is just amazing at our rule books. He helped with this rule book, and certainly, wow, we're 1 pledge away now from funding. Certainly, this turned out very well. So as soon as we fund, I will have to take a pause because I'm going to send out I have it pre-written already, but I'm going to put my thank you funded note out to everybody. But yeah, we're almost 11,000, 2 hours in. It's very, very exciting. All right, so Garden Geckos, this is why we're here. So you guys might have been seeing a lot of content recently from the content creators across the web. I want to start off by just thanking the content creators. It has been an overwhelming response that we've received to this game. This is probably the first game that I've actually launched where I've had zero negative feedback. There's always someone that doesn't like something you've done, but this one seems to be unanimous. Everyone seems to like the game, which is really, really exciting. So I just got another pledge in from John. So we are now at 10,922. We're 1 pledge away. So yeah, it's been great. The feedback has been awesome. I've been couldn't be more pleased with just the love and support that's come in on this game. I'm very proud of it. This game's come together quite quickly in terms of, I always refer to it as creative flow. And as a game designer, you know, you're designing games and sometimes you just hit a flow and boom, you know, you just, everything just flows out of you. And that was certainly the case here with Garden Geckos. I have an amazing support group around me of designers, people who are heavy into gaming. They're able to give me a lot of really candid feedback along the way, and we're able to iterate this game very, very quickly. I had about 100 copies made, production copies, sent out to reviewers around the world. Essentially just said, anybody that wants a copy, we'll send it to you. We're not paying for reviews, but anybody that wants to look at a game, we'll send you a copy. And what they received was pretty much a production version of the game. The only thing that's going to be different is we missed in the book to say what happens in the event of a tie. So we'll actually put that in the final book, which will be basically 2 sentences. And there's trays that are going to actually come in the box, which snap closed, kind of like game trays. Not game trays branded, obviously, but these will be resource trays. You can pull out of the box, put them on the table, and then your resources are ready to go. So easy to pack up and put out. We have some other goodies we're going to announce as we go through the campaign, but that's kind of what's available at first. And yeah, let's get into the page, man. Let's take a look at it. Let's see here. Okay, so this is our Garden Geckos page. As you can see, we are literally $18 away from funding. And this is an exciting thing. 159 backers so far. We're actually trending on Kick Tracks. We're number 1 on Kick Tracks right now as well, which is crazy. It's all kind of surreal. So we have Garden Geckos. I know it was interesting. There's 2 different groups on this game. There's some people that don't super love the fun kind of cartoon artwork. It was a conscious choice we had to make. We knew that there'd be some people that wouldn't like that, but I have to kind of think the longer term vision for the game and applicability at retail and what's going to get the most eyeballs in the game. And whenever I'm creating a box cover, I look at kind of how a shelf will look. And then I'll try to kind of put that on that shelf and say, okay, is this game going to stand out or not? And that was certainly what we want to achieve with this game. We got a lot of people absolutely love it. But there are some that say, well, I'm going to kind of ignore that and I'm going to play the game anyways. And it looks like we just funded. Wow, we have hit our funding goal. So high five to everybody who's been involved in guarding geckos. We've done it. We've hit our target. Super exciting. Thank you, Andrew. I can see you just said we funded. This goal, people often say, like, how do you come up with your funding goal? And I take the Jamie Stagmeyer school of kind of setting up your page, which is, it's not about recovering your marketing dollars. Marketing dollars are sunk. It's not about recovering your development costs. That cost is sunk. The funding goal is, what is the minimum amount I need to spend in order to have a viable product, right? So if we're to stop funding right this second, how much money do I need to at least be able to do the bare minimum to get what we've committed out? And that number is $11,000. So that's how we came up with that goal. I think we're probably going to fund much higher than that. We're 2 hours in, 11,000. If I was to guess, knock on wood, just based on how the algorithms work, if we finish today at 20,000 after like 24 hours, that puts us at about probably 28 to 30,000 end of day tomorrow. So after 48 hours, usually you'll do in the last 72 hours, you do in your first 24 hours. So I think we're probably in around a $40,000 campaign at this moment. Again, that could change as we go. Obviously I want to fund a lot more if we can. And the more we fund, obviously we'll be able to do even more with this game. Although this game, it's got my brother Adam just said, congrats on that as well. This game is premium, and we're going to show you this on the page right now. It is a 1 to 6 player game. We do have a solo mode. 14 plus, people have asked, and I had a reviewer yesterday say, hey, we play this with our kids, and our 10-year-old was able to play this no problem. And I agree. With parental supervision, no problem. You can probably go as low as 10, but there are a lot of small parts in this game, and kids tend to stick things in their mouth. So we're going 14 plus, and if it's younger than that, you want to have parental supervision, of course. Day one incentive. So let's talk about this first. This free metal first player marker. I'm going to go back to this camera here. So I'm very excited about this. So this first player marker, and I'm going to show you two, because I'm going to take a poll, and I'm going to do the poll probably later on today. But this is the first player marker. It's metallic, so it's not gold. We see it's golden. It's obviously I think it's actually iron that's coated in like a gold plating, not real gold, like a brass or whatever. Double pin, so it stays on securely. And this will attach to a game bag. Now we do have an option. This works as a first player marker. Now the one downfall to that is if you use it as a first player marker, you're going to have these little pins that you're going to have to leave on the back. It's not as pretty on the table. We do have a second version where it doesn't have the pins on the back, and we can use a magnet. So it'll still stick to your shirt with the magnet. However, it won't necessarily stay on like a game bag. So going through thicker material, that's not going to hold, and you could risk potentially losing it. I want to get people's opinions as to what they think. I think people are probably going to lean towards this. It's the same cost for both, but we're going to let the backers decide what they want, and what people decide is what we're going to launch. This is free. So it's a $7 US add-on. It'll be $10 Canadian if people decide to add this on after. I got people pinging me with questions here. Well, they're gonna have to wait because we're on a live feed. This is gonna be free for the first 72 hours. So if you have this, we call our day one is essentially 72 hours. Last time we did a campaign, we did your first 24 hours, you got a first player marker. And there was people that kind of found out about the campaign, a day, 2 days late, and we extended it to 72 hours to make it fair. So out of the gate, I just did that this time and said, you know what? Day one backers defined as the first 3 days. If you haven't backed us in the first 3 days, you're probably not worried about getting the first player marker for free. But that's what you get for free. You get this for free if you do in the first 24 hours. Gecko Bob joined. Good God, I'm excited. welcome, sir. Board Game Rundown. Check them out. These guys are amazing. Okay, so that's the first player marker. Let's go back to the campaign page. This game is just loaded with meeples. We've got, I believe it's 72 meeples. I'll get to the exact number in a second. BMS Crowd just joined. Adam, I saw you pinging me with questions. I'll have to answer those questions later on when I'm off air. I love talking about Gecko Bob. One of the first kind of reviews we had was from Board Game Rundown. And I love this one line he said. He said, this game is freaking fantastic. And Tim from that team, there's 4 guys that actually do this podcast. He loved it. And it was great to get a chance to go on their podcast and talk about this game as among other things. We just talked about gaming in general. Great group of guys and love getting their feedback. But we have tons of meeples in this game, and they're double-sided, so they're printed on both sides, which is really awesome. Hex tiles, we get extra thick hex tiles. There's 60 of those in the game. Plus, we have the starting hex tile. Starting hex tile has a hole in it, and the reason we have a hole in it is because the game start is different every time. So you put your meeple. So this is like your bug meeple. So the person who's going to be last in player turn order decides what the starting hex tile is. Because the person who lays down the first gecko is going to have a little bit of advantage over the other people. So you can try to nerf that as the last player by choosing a bug that is not in the current market of objectives that they can achieve. And that's how that starts off. We have 42 objective cards. We'll get into how you play this game in a little bit. But you're trying to connect these hex tiles together to form patterns. You have your geckos spanning across these different patterns on these tiles. And you can see on the inside of these tiles, they'll have these bug images. And the bug images is what you're trying to connect with your geckos. So if you can connect patterns, so in this case, I've had grass, and I put my gecko across the grass, they've now connected to that pattern, but at the same time, they can connect a moth to a grasshopper. So as you're going through this game, there's a market of objectives that you're trying to achieve. And so if you can have your geckos on all the patterns that match that card simultaneously, you can collect that card in your turn. Likewise, if you are matching the bug connection patterns as well, you can achieve that objective. So there's multiple ways to score in this game. So there's 2 completely different types of objectives where you're going either after terrain or you're going after bugs. And then there's a third thing you can do, which is trying to actually trap bugs. So if you can fully encircle a hex tile, whoever has the most geckos touching that tile will get that bug. They take the meeple from the market. It's in the center of that hex tile. And that goes towards their end game scoring. Scoring is very simple. Every bug is worth 1 point, regardless of whether it's a physical bug or if it's on the bottom of a card. Our meeples, we had a couple different meeples we were working on during the development of this game. And one was just doing like a 1-color print. And what I found is when I saw the full color print, although it was more expensive, we're like, we have to do this. It just looks so awesome. So the actual meeples look exactly like the image in the center of the hex tiles. It all matches. Quinn just joined. Welcome, Quinn. So they're premium. We have, there's 6 of them. We have the grasshopper, cricket, moth, ladybug, fruit fly, and the mealworm. These are all things that the geckos eat. Then we have our 6 different colorblind friendly gecko meeples, and I'll show the green one. So I know, we did a game called Hamsters versus Hippos, and it was interesting on that game is we did a poll, and we said to people, hey, what's your favorite color of player count? And it was 50-50 people who wanted blue or green. And in that game, we did both a green and blue meeple and just said, hey, when people play, they're just going to have to figure it out, and they're going to have to, if they're colorblind, well, that's what the audience wanted. This time around, we said, okay, we're still going to service people by having green and blue, or red and pink, black and blue. And these colors can be mixed up easily if somebody's colorblind. However, what you can do is you can flip the gecko over and you can play solids versus patterns. And the patterns are all different. So one will have like little diamonds on it. Another one will have dots. So if someone's playing blue, somebody's playing green, the blue player can just go solid color. The green player can play the other side of their gecko and they can have the pattern. And everybody can see it's colorblind friendly. So very easy to flip it over. Our rule book, this is one thing a lot of our reviewers said, is that they liked it. It was a low rules overhead. So this is a very simple game to teach. Great for a gateway game at game night. So if you are, playing with new players or even experienced players, there's enough kind of thinkiness in here and kind of tactical strategy for people that are, regular board gamers. But if you have somebody join your group that is a non-gamer, you can teach this game very, very quickly. So it's a great way to kind of pull people into the hobby. Inside of our box, this is something I started doing on our second game we ever launched, and we haven't stopped since, which is printing the inside of the box. We used to do this as like a stretch goal, and then I just realized that we're going to do this anyway, so we stopped doing stretch goals. I know some people like the stretch goals, but we really want to just make sure that we provide... Hey, Meeple Mike joined. Hey, Mike. We just want to make sure that we get the best possible game we can right out of the gate. So I don't play the games of taking everything away and then giving it back to you through stretch goals anymore. And I say that anymore because I did that on, I think it was my third campaign. It's just a mess, and just put the best game you can possibly put forward, and that's what we do now. So the inside lid printing. You feel this box, it is linen finish. Our cards are linen finish. So we'll get into that in a second. These component trays. So these are component trays that we have. So there's two different ones. One to hold your geckos, which will be in the box, and then we'll also have a separate one for the bugs that you can put onto the table. Reclosable so your pieces don't go flying everywhere. As I said, table and presence is important to us. We have linen finish, and spot UV will be on the box. Inside lid printing, linen finish cards, thick hex tiles, 4-color UV printed bug meeples. The UV, actually, we might go to this litho print purely from the perspective that the litho actually might be a sharper image. So we're going to have to test that when we get into production. But either way, it's going to be the most vibrant, best possible image on those tiles printed. So it's not a sticker, it's printed. All meeples are wooden, color by friendly, as I said earlier, and reclosable trays. So this is about having table presence, making this game look as gorgeous as possible when it's on the table. No stretch goals, as I said earlier, maximum quality rate from the beginning. Why back now? This is important. Where I'm a small publisher. I'm literally one dude in my basement. We do have a broad team of people that are very, very helpful. Andrew Gilpin, who's on in the live stream here as well, very helpful with feedback, helping with rules. I want to shout out to Sarah Pippi as well. Amazing, helping out with the rules. Those two guys as a team are probably the best team you could possibly ask for in terms of helping set your rules and getting those ready for your backers. Obviously Adam, who's joined us as well. He's my brother and design partner on a lot of the games. I did this particular game, but Adam has been a co-designer on most of our titles, including Cities of Venus, which is our largest funded game we've ever done on our last campaign. And just a great guy to design with and bounce ideas off. We do have exclusive components and add-ons. So the add-ons you're going to see in this campaign, we're only going to make what we need for the campaign, and afterwards that's it. So it's not like we're going to stock plushies, and we'll get into plushies in a second. We're not going to stock first player markers. We're going to produce probably 10% extra just to cover off any lost, stolen, damaged, whatever, and those will just blow it at the next convention we go to. But we're not going to hang on to a lot of inventory of add-ons. So the game is the game, and the add-ons you get during the campaign is during the campaign, and that's it. So that's another reason to back during the campaign. And then back with confidence. We've got a really good track record. I believe this is now our 7th campaign. We've never been late on a campaign, only been early, and certainly that's not going to change. Cities of Venus is scheduled to we committed to have it delivered by October. It's probably going to ship end of summer. Right now, we're talking with Bridge Distribution. I got a conference call with them on Wednesday. The game will be ready to ship, I think, probably by mid-August. And then it has to go into their schedule when they can get the game out. And what they're saying is, hey, end of August, maybe into September. But certainly this game will be shipped well before the committed date of October 2024. And that'll lead very nicely into the sequel to that game, which is going to be this coming fall, which is called Cities of Venus Survivors, a standalone sequel, polyomino dice manipulation game, which I'm super excited about as well. The rule book, if you guys want to check out the rules, you can just download them right off of our page. It has all the rules in there, including the solo mode. So I'm placing this game. This is basically, we've got some GIFs here that'll show you essentially how to play, but You place a hex tile that matches a pattern. Your gecko then goes and spans the pattern that you just placed, and you're connecting the two geckos, or the two bugs that are in the center of those two tiles you've just connected. When you fully surround a tile, whoever has the most geckos touching that tile wins the bug in the center. If it's a tie, whoever placed a tile is going to choose who the tie breaking is. And of course, they're going to choose themselves if they're one of the ones that are tied on that tile. Terrain objectives are on the card. If you can have your geckos simultaneously matching those patterns, you get that card from the market. I want to say, though, when you're achieving an objective, you have to contribute to the objective on that turn. So there's going to be cases when a new card is going to get turned up when you refresh the market, and it may turn up and you may have already achieved that objective based on what's just been turned up. You have to, on your turn, contribute still to that objective in order to claim it. You can't just randomly collect it. However, you can claim two objectives at the same time, where if you can get a terrain objective and a bug objective where you just happen to lay a tile that allows you to do both those at the same time, you can collect those objectives at the same time. If you're a superstar, you can actually do three things on the same turn, which is surround a hex tile, so to claim that meeple, achieve a terrain objective, and achieve a bug objective at the same time, which is cool. I've done that, I think, once. It's really tough to do, but it is possible to do. So your bug objectives, there's three different types. There are just touch. There will be 4 bugs. And if you're just touching all 4 of those bugs, you can win an objective. There's parallel connecting bugs where you have to connect this bug to this bug, and then somewhere else on the board, connect this bug to this bug. And then there's a third type, which is what we call the Z pattern sequence, which is connect this bug to this bug, and then from this bug to this bug. And those are the hardest ones to get. But that's a third type of bug objective you can achieve. There's secret objectives that people are dealt at the beginning of the game. You're either going to get 2, so we changed this in the rules as well. The reviewers would have got the original rules, which is just give everybody a secret objective. Now what we do, hey, Stephen Hill just joined. Welcome, Stephen. Welcome, Bo. Now what you do, if you you're going to deal 2 secret objectives to every player. They're going to look at the 2, they're going to choose which one they want, and they're going to put the other one back. Your secret objectives are either going to be a bug, and if it's a bug secret objective, at the end of the game, for every physical bug meeple you have that matches that, or quite frankly, if I look at the cards here, on the bottom of the cards, that would be my, here's an example. So the card has your bugs on the bottom. So if your secret objective matches for every bug on the bottom of your objective cards you've scored, plus matching any physical bug you have, you get a bonus 2 points. The objective we have for the terrain is the largest connected area. So, and you don't have to be touching it. So say you have water as your secret objective. At the end of the game, the largest connected area of water, you get 1 point for every third of a tile that's part of that connecting pattern. People have asked me before, which one's easier? I think the terrain objective is probably the easier one to do, but the bug objective, I think you can score higher. My personal opinion, but I've seen those flip back and forth. I don't know which one I prefer, but they're both pretty balanced. So they have pros and cons to either, but they're both can score pretty much the same as your secret objectives. We have as a like an advanced scoring rule. And what the advanced scoring rule is if at the end of the game, of all the bugs you've physically collected as meeples, if on any of your objective cards you can cover all those images on those cards with your physical meeples, that card will actually score double. So if you have a card that has like 5 bugs across the bottom, and so it's worth 5 points, and on the card you're able to cover the 4 bugs that are on that card, you just scored 10 points on that card. So as an advanced player, there's an opportunity for you to score quite high, which is really exciting. Just a quick little check-in. We are at about 11,672. So for those who are joining us, we've already funded on this campaign. Now we're just going to see how high we can go. So that's the advanced scoring, which is here. As you can see, the bugs are going on top of the images. They cover the images. The bottom of this particular card in this image would score 6 points. The solo mode. The solo mode is pretty cool. It's very, very puzzly, and it's a win-lose. I'm a big fan of solo games where you're not just, hey, see who can get see how high you can get your score, but you either fail or pass. And if you pass, then maybe you have some objectives. If you hit this level, you've got this award. If you hit this level, you get this award. But it's not like just see what your highest score is. Like, you're going to fail or you're going to be successful. So we have that in this one where you have to do certain things. And it gets really, really tough and puzzly. You have to get so many objectives you have to achieve. You have to make sure you're getting at least one of each of the bug meeples. You need to get at least 5 of your secret objective meeples. And then based on your total score, which I believe it's like 60, if you can get over 60, then there's your bronze, silver, or superstar is how you're ranked. Superstar, I think, is, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but man, if you hit superstar, send me a note. You get a high five for that, because it's tough. It's really, really tough. I think what I'll do for the reviewers too is we'll send out, well, they can download it right off the actual Kickstarter page right now, but any of the reviewers that have this game, they can play the solo mode right now with what they have in their box. There's no additional components for that. You're using the existing game. We have some how to play videos at the top of the page. So one that I've done, and then one that No Shelf Space did. So if you're just looking for a straight how to play, these are how to plays. Most of the reviewers have how to play at the front end of their video as well. But I try to break up the page and say, okay, here's kind of the official how to plays at the top. And then for the reviewers, if you want to skip kind of to the end and get their final thoughts, that's cool. Or you can watch the whole video, it's totally your call. Hey, Board Games After the Dark just joined. Welcome, another one of our reviewers. Thank you so much for your support of this game. All right, add-ons, plushie. So let's get into the plushie. There we are. Okay. So this guy finally arrived literally yesterday. We're still tweaking it, so it's a handmade sample, keep in mind. But it's pretty close. I still want to make the eyes even bigger, and I want the head to be a little bit bigger. But this is not made yet on a machine or anything like that. This is literally somebody hand making it. And we've been tweaking it back and forth for the past like 3 months. So here's our gecko. We have a gecko plushie with his little tail, his little gecko hands. What I said to him is very important to me is I wanted it to be anatomically correct. So geckos actually have 5 fingers, which are really cool. So they have like 2 that go out to one side and 2 that go out to the other side. And they have kind of like a third one that kind of acts as the thumb at the back. So we made sure we designed the feet that way. One of the colors to match like on the box. There we are. His mouth open. And his cute little face. And he's really super soft. So we're going to, again, this hand stitched, handmade. I'm going to make the eyes even bigger because I think he'll be even cuter with his eyes even bigger. Big googly eyes. But for people who love plushies, this is going to be an exclusive plushie for this campaign. We're not going to make like tons and sell them afterwards. So however many people order plushies, I'm probably going to increase my order by like 10%. And that's how many we make. So if you're a plushie collector, this is going to be collectible because we're only going to make a limited amount. So that's the gecko plushie. Give me thumbs up if you love the plushies. All right. Let's get on to first player markers. We've talked about the first player marker. It is free, as we said, as part of the first, if you're a day, keep going off the page. If you're a day one backer, you get this for free. Otherwise, it's a $7 US add-on. What we are going to do a poll on later on, as I just said earlier, is whether we're going to do pins or do it as a magnetic clip-on. Magnetic is cool because this can go around as a first player marker and it's flat and doesn't kind of like sit off the table. However, pins will stick onto a game bag way better than a magnet will. So that's one of the trade-offs we got to figure out. All right, and I apologize for constantly going off screen here. All right, bunny drops. Bunny drops. I'm so excited about this game. Gosh. So Megan is Staley is my niece. I got a young face. She's actually turns 40 this year. So, and my sister's much older than I am, but she's a game designer as well, budding game designer. This is her first title. I'm so excited to have this part of the campaign. We didn't do a standalone on this one campaign just because smaller card games, it's really, really tough to have a campaign fund and spend the marketing dollars you need to do like a small card game. So we had to bundle it as part of this campaign. But I'm super stoked about this. It is definitely one of my favorite games for game night. This is something that is easy to pull out, and if you're wanting a warm-up game or you're waiting for people to start, 15 minutes, you can get through a game real quick. Or at the end of the game night, and we literally just did this last night. We had a game night, and the place where we stay at closes at 9:30. It was like 10 after 9, so we weren't ready to kind of leave. There's other games going on, and there was 5 of us that said, what can we do in 10 minutes? And we pulled out bunny drops, and we played bunny drops really fast, and it was awesome. This is modeled after some of her actual pet bunnies that she has. So some of the rabbit names you'll see in this game and the images, the characters we've had, we modeled after her actual pet rabbits. But it's super cool. It's cute. I love it. The art is done by Cesar Delgada, who is also the artist on Garden Geckos as well as Hamsters vs. Hippos. Got this kawaii style. Let's see if I can find Stormy. That's her favorite pet bunny. But this game, if you've ever played like mechanically similar to kind of Point Salad, where you have like double-sided cards, where your cards will kind of flip throughout the game. So as they come out onto the board, they're going to change and they're going to flip over. And then a bit like Cat Lady, where you're taking a column or a row. However, different from Cat Lady, where this one you're actually grabbing the animal with the actual food. There's droppings that these rabbits are dropping as they're on the board. So sometimes you're forced to pick up the rabbit poop with this, and when you grab the rabbit poop, then that's going to be a negative point. However, if you can get brooms in your collection, I can find a broom, then you gain points for every piece of poop that you can sweep up. There's Stormy. So cute. And do I have a broom? Let's see if I can find a broom here. No broom in that stack, but I'll keep talking as we go. The bottom of the cards, you'll see there's food. So the objective of this game is you want to collect food that can cover off that rabbit's entire diet. If you can, that rabbit's going to score 1 point for every food item that's at the bottom of that card. If you can't, you're going to lose 2 points. You still feed that rabbit, but you're going to lose 2 points for every rabbit you don't fully feed by the end of the game. And the end of the game is essentially after 6 cards after you've collected 6 rabbits or 6 what I call pink cards, because you might collect a dustpan instead of a rabbit. There's a dustpan, a little reminder that you can pick up 3 pieces of poop. Then your card will after 6 rabbits, you're going to score. Any rabbits not fed, you lose 2 points. Any food items that are left over that you can't feed to one of your rabbits, you're going to lose a point per card. You're going to gain points for poop that you swept up. And if all your rabbits have different backgrounds, holy cow, we almost played 108 pickup there. If the back color, so you see these 2 colors are different. If all your rabbits have different colors, you get a bonus 3 points at the end of the game. So very easy to score, very fun, very quick. I absolutely love it. It's a fun game to play. It does get a little bit thinky, so my warning on that. And this is our theme with a lot of our games, where I think one of the reviewers said deceptively simple, where Garden Geckos is very much like this. First you're like, oh, I'm just slapping down tiles, I'm putting geckos on it. And then, after about 2 rounds of going around the player areas, it's like, oh, wait a second. I need to pay attention to what I'm doing here, because I'm seeing objectives get grabbed left, right, and center, and I got to try to figure out how I'm going to work out these combos. Bunny drops is very similar, where you're just like, oh, I'm just grabbing rabbits, I'm just grabbing food. And then as you're going through, you're like, oh boy, now I've got food that doesn't fit any of the rabbits I have here. I'm going to have to score a bunch of negative points. Now when I draft rabbits, I have to draft the ones that are going to eat the food that I have, but they're also going to come with some more food as well. And it's starting to kind of work out that puzzle as well as you go through the game. So lots of fun. Bunny drops, absolutely love it. This is it on the table. I'm going to give a shout out to Stephen Hill on this one. Again, I'll give Andrew and Sarah Pippi, Andrew Gilpin, Sarah Pippi, who helped review the rules on this again, just to make sure our rules are scrubbed. I want to give a shout out to Stephen Hill, who had this great idea on how to do the refill mechanic we had in this game, on how we refill the cards. It's one of those things where, as a designer, you can often overcomplicate things unnecessarily, and then it takes somebody looking at it from the outside saying, well, why don't you just do this. And you're just like, why didn't I think of that? That's so obvious. But it takes someone else often to look at something from the outside to point out the obvious, right? And he certainly did that with this game, which is awesome. I really appreciate that. There is a how to play. Oh, thanks, Andrew. There's a how to play video on here. So if you actually want to see me show you how to play this game, it's like a 10-minute video, very quick watch. But check it out, and I think you're gonna really love it. Pledge tiers. So the pledge tiers in this game, our base pledge is $60. So roughly, and we put kind of this little squiggle in front of it, it's approximately $45 US. If you want the all-in package, it's the Garden Geckos game, it's the bunny drops, it's our friend the Gecko plushie, and it's a first player marker. If you choose a first player marker when you're pledging, and you've pledged in the first 72 hours, don't worry. We'll do an adjustment at the end. I had somebody ask me this already about, do I add the marker? Do I not add the marker? It's tough to articulate exactly how to do this in Kickstarter, so we just kind of let it ride, and we'll just figure it out afterwards. So what we do is, if you don't add the marker, no problem. I can pull a report at the end of the campaign, see who all pledged within the first 72 hours. I'll add the first player marker to free to your pledge into the pledge manager. If you added the first player marker in the first 72 hours, then I'm going to credit you back the value of that $10 value. I'm going to credit that back in the pledge manager. That'll come off your shipping cost. So we make it very, very simple. But again, either way, if you pledge in the first 72 hours, it helps us with the algorithms. It locks your pledge in. Quite frankly, the first 24 hours is going to drive pretty much where this campaign is going to end. I'll be able to predict, I think with about an 80% confidence, where we're going to end this campaign just based on the first 24 hours. That's how mathematical this Kickstarter is, and it's the reality of kind of how it works. So that's the all-in-one. Reviews, we had a lot of great reviews. This one made me laugh more so because Little Big Thumbs is like, their production value is gone bananas, the level of production he's added to his videos. It is awesome to see the evolution of his channel. I've known him now for, I think 5 years. And to see the evolution, he's Canadian, and to see the evolution of his channel has been cool. But now they've got this Little Big Thumbs little thing they do at the beginning, which is super hilarious. So it was great having them. On your own time, feel free to review and go through the all of the review videos. I'm going to highlight some of the things that people are saying. So Little Big Thumbs, a lot of replayability. Thought the game was gorgeous. Tabletop for World, they're an international reviewer. They said it's very simple rules, but a lot to think about while playing. They enjoyed the balance of the game a lot, which they really thought was great. Chits in Cardboard, he's actually based near where I live. He's in Innisfil, which is about 20 to 30 minutes from here, John. And said he can promise it's a heck of a lot of fun. Board Game Rundown, thought this game was freaking fantastic. I love that quote. That makes me laugh. Board Game Hype, definitely a game he enjoyed and he would like to play again. Another Canadian review. I think these guys are in, where are they based out of? Inspired a Game, I think, is out of Calgary. I think maybe Winnipeg. I can't remember. It's light, it's friendly. It's just a delight to play. Favorite foe. The area majority element is great. Twist on the usual territory matching challenge. I agree. Board game mechanics, Jason. I love working with Jason, and he always tells it like it is, which is super good. He gets into the mechanics of the game and he'll talk, and I like how he'll explain, like, this is kind of who this kind of game would be for, and here's kind of what people should look for when they're looking to enjoy this game, or maybe if it doesn't fit their play style, which is really cool. Check out his video. If you like tile placement, you're gonna love this game. If you like cute little wooden bits, you're really going to love this game. It's a great quote. We've got Chelsea, who actually I think is still in the Instagram feed right now. It's a game you can't help smile at while playing. I couldn't agree more. Board Game Museum, Norm Hastings, another great guy. He did a Seas of Venus review as well. Overall, this is a good tile laying game. It's very easy to learn. Again, this is a theme that you're going to hear over and over and over again. Is it's very easy to teach this game, but there's a lot of complexities as you start playing through it. And deceptively simple, I think, is a great analogy. It's adorable and crunchy at the same time, and the production quality is outstanding. Punchable games. This is something that is important to me as a publisher, as a designer, but most so as a publisher, is I want every game that we put out there where people to pick it up and be like, wow, this person actually cares about the quality of this game. So my friends kind of laugh. We'll be at game night and I'll pull out a game and I'll look at it. I'll be like, why does this person hate me so much? Like, why does this publisher hate me? Like, it's a paper thin box. There's no organization. It's just like dumped in. The box is falling apart. Like the things they could have done for such a low cost to improve the quality output for their backers. Why wouldn't they do that? Like, I know pennies are important, but gosh, it's not, every penny doesn't need to be, kind of kept to yourself. You can give some of those pennies back to making that game as best quality as possible. And people that follow the Cities of Venus campaign are certainly experiencing that now. You'll see the box behind me. That's what we did. We actually put a lot of money back in after the campaign was done, after the funding was done. We just ate it because we came across this really cool box concept at Essen. And Adam and I said, we have to do this. We have to do this for this game. It's going to make this game so much more awesome when you open it up, and the experience is going to be so much more wow. Let's just do it. And it wasn't cheap, I can tell you that much, but it's this cool gift opening box, opens up in different layers, and it's just awesome. And that's just kind of how we approach our design and our production. Let's table it. From the bright tiles to the amazing meeples, the production is beautiful without sacrificing gameplay. Games with Ben. This is a very strategic game with lots of tough choices. Tabletop vibes. Oh, Adam's a great guy as well. I love it. He always sends me little notes, which is cool. I always love cheerleaders. There's so many cheerleaders in this industry, and it really is, I think, a very loving industry where, when people just send notes to people just because, I think that's so nice and so awesome. And, I'm even looking at the feed here and the number of reviewers who have also joined into this live feed, right? Like, thank you. Thank you so much. Like, I appreciate it so much. And I try to do this myself. Anytime I see something that somebody else is doing, I'll try to send a little note just saying, hey man, way to go on that. Or man, that looked awesome. It takes nothing of someone's time to be able to do that. I often will do that in Facebook where somebody posts a prototype they're doing. Little comment, hey, this looks really cool. That little thought may have put a smile on that person's face. It doesn't take a lot of effort. Certainly, I think that the industry is, the love fest has really grown a lot in this past couple of years versus where it was even 6 years ago when I started. Wasn't as loving back then as it certainly is right now. And part of that's just trying to share the love yourself, right? So again, thank you to everyone that supported us on this so much. I really, really do appreciate it. It's why I keep doing it. It really is. All right, overall, I love Garden Geckos. It's easy to pick up, runs well, and as cute as a button. That is Helen from the Nerd Squirrel. She has a blog as well, which is really cool. So you can read her review on her blog as well. Billy Indiana, another up-and-coming content creator. I just love his channel. His production quality is so, I gotta get him to send me what camera equipment are you using? Just give me a behind the scenes setup of your studio because I want to emulate it. It is so good, and he's so well articulate's not the word. He's just very clean in how he talks about whatever it is he's talking about, whether it's a game or a concept. You just clearly understand what he's saying, and he gets his thoughts across very, very clear, which is awesome. And I'm so glad he agreed to review this one. He reviewed the Cities of Venus as well. No Shelf Space, another Canadian, I think down in Windsor. Adam Rothfull, Garden Geckos is easy to learn, provides incredibly deep decision space, and yet maintains accessibility for almost anyone. He has a GameReviews.com as well, does blogs there, and another great review channel. I love it. We've got Ollie East, Don't Be Bored. I think based out of the UK. You've got to give it props because it really does look good on the table. Thanks, Ollie. I really do appreciate it. That's a good, if you get a chance, watch that review because he gets into the good, bad, and the ugly of it, and it's all fair. And I really appreciate him giving the thoughtful feedback that he gave. I really do. Table Talk. I really enjoy this game. I like that it's easy to learn, teach, and play. The Unfiltered Gamer, which is unfiltered. They are what they are. Great review as well. The wooden gecko and bug components add hugely to this game's appeal. Brian, I think, just did a fantastic job. I didn't put his comment didn't save. I'll add it in a little bit later on. But I can't remember what his soundbite is. It'll be in this afternoon. After I go off live, I'll put his soundbite in. It must not have saved. Kickstarter is a bit quirky that way. But Board's Eye View with Stellan Ward said the wooden Geeko and bug components are hugely add to this game's appeal. Check out Board's Eye View. If you haven't seen this channel, do yourself a favor. Go to Facebook and type in Board's Eye View at the top and check this out. If you click on this image on this page, it'll take you straight to their page. It is so cool. These guys do this thing where they have this like 3-dimensional camera that they put in the center of the board, and it does like a 360 review image. So with your mouse, you can actually like turn the table and look at all 360 degrees of that game. And they do game after game after game, and it is cool. Check out their page. It is definitely well worth it. Quick little check-in. We're at $12,602, 182 backers. Sorry, $12,000, almost $700 now. 183 backers. Thank you so much for everybody to support our game so far. This is something new I did on this campaign, was highlighting some content creator images. Any of the content creators that are online right now, if you're not in here, let me know. I will send me one of your favorite images. I'll post it up. If you click on any of these images, it will actually take you to that content creator's Instagram page. But I wanted to highlight some of my favorite images and some of their favorite images as well. So this is Games by Emily is the first one. I like this kind of cool thing with the apple blossoms around it. I thought it looked really nice. Welcome 60 Minute Gamer. Appreciate you joining us. Little big thumbs. We got Het Spelljet Koppel. I'm sure I just butchered that name. It's like just a very simple, but I like just the focus on the meeples, which is cool. Boards Game After Dark, which has joined us as well in our live chat. We have Chits and Cardboard. We have Board's Eye View, this image here as well. I think if you click on this physical image as well, it'll actually, maybe this is the image you click on that takes you to their 360 degree in view. Check it out. Click on this image. It'll take you to Board's Eye View. It's a great page. It's just super awesome. Chalk Games, which is, they had a second name that they use as well. I think it's Viola 10 is another thing they go by. I just like kind of the contrast of the color of the green with the bug meeples on this one. This I thought was really creative with the meeples on the back of the cards. It's just cool. Tabletop, again, for World. It was cool. And it's the exact same image on the back of those cards as the meeple. So it's kind of cool to see those kind of spread out like that, which is awesome. Spaghetti and Meeples. That's a great username. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's awesome. The bugs all trying to get the mealworm. This is the Mad Gamer. He was part of the Gamecasters podcast. I'm not sure if he's still a guest on that. He was like a guest commentator on that. I didn't catch him on the last episode, but certainly a lot of the past episodes, he's part of that. Check out his channel. He's got some great content. Our team, again, props to, again, my name's James, or Jay, people call me. Friends and family call me Jay. Designer, developer of this game. I'm also owner of Team Robot Games and the Board Game Binge podcast host. If you haven't followed Board Game Binge, please check it out. We do 30-minute episodes every week. We just interviewed Launch Boom. And Launch Boom didn't do this particular campaign, but you're seeing them everywhere right now, and I thought they'd be a great guest. So we talked to the CEO of Launch Boom yesterday. That podcast episode goes live. Literally anywhere you download your favorite podcast, just type in Board Game Binge. You'll find our channel. Thanks, 60 Minute Board Gamer. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the props. Board Game Binge. It's the 30-minute episodes. So in and out, very tight. You can listen to an episode on your commute, on your way to work, on your way back. Most people, it's 30 to 40 minutes to get to work. Most people, it's 30 minutes getting ready in the morning. So you can play it while you're in the shower, brushing your teeth, whatever. But we cover off the personalities in the industry. So our hook is that I want you to know the people behind the industry, whether it be a game, whether it be a content creator, whether it be a photographer. I've had some of the distributors like Games Quest, or I've had Quartermaster Logistics on the podcast. Literally anything to do with Jamie Stagmeyer's been on there, Jim Hudson, some of the big names, but some of the small names as well. I want to have as wide a swath as possible of people in this industry that have touched this industry in some way. And for you to know them as a person, why they got in the industry, what were the motivations, and talk a little bit about what they're doing. And so that's what that podcast is all about. Actively listened to in 26 different countries. We just finished our 288th episode, which was crazy that we've done that many episodes. It's been going now, I think, for almost 4 years. And we're quickly coming up on the 300th episode. I haven't decided what I'm doing for the 300th. I want to do something special. I want to have a unique guest. I've got in mind 2 that I'm going to reach out to. And if I can get one of them, I think it'll be a cool 300th episode. But that is the podcast. So check it out. So the funds from this campaign also go towards helping fund the podcast. You have to pay for the software, the streaming software we're using right now. All this costs money. I don't charge money for sponsorships. No one ever has to pay to come on the podcast. It's free. So anybody we cover off, it's just to help share the love and promote it out there and give. And, I believe that the more you give, the more that will come back to you. And so I try to give as much as possible, and that's what we do. We've got a Facebook group. Please join it if you haven't. So type in Board Game Binge as a Facebook group. I think the link is actually in the Kickstarter page here as well if you scroll down. 2,000 members. It's a private group. And in there, we'll always post the video version of those episodes so you can see the video. And then different people will post different things on things they're working on, things they're interested in. Everybody gets at least 1 post for free, even if it's self-promotion. After that, we ask, try not to just keep plugging your stuff. Most people respect that. We take it down if it's just shameless self-promotion. There's only been a couple cases where we've had to jettison people where it's clear that's all they're wanting to do is try to blast us with their promos every week, and they have no interest in actually contributing to the group. But that's the exception to the rule. Most people are just awesome on that page, and it's kept fairly clean. It is a private group. It'll ask you questions like, what's your favorite board game? It doesn't matter what your answer is. It just keeps the bots out, essentially what that does. So you join, and you say, my favorite game is, hit the space bar if you want. It doesn't matter. And then automatically within 5 minutes, it lets you in. And then you can join. But check out Board Game Bench Podcast. All right, Sarah Pippi and Andrew Gilpin. Andrew Gilpin from Gilpin Games. He's a designer as well. And work with Andrew on a game that will be hopefully launching soon, buddy. Let's go with this game, man. But hopefully we'll be launching this game in the next year. We call him the Rulebook Polisher. I call Sarah the Rulebook Ninja. Between the two of them, man, I am so happy they agree to work with me, and I hope they continue to help because, man, they are just amazing. And my books have gotten way better since they've been helping than what they were in the past. So thank you so much to you two. Megan Staley, my niece again. She's the Bunny Drops designer as well as a bunny mom. So again, check out Bunny Drops. Even if you want Bunny Drops and you don't want garden geckos, please feel free you can pledge. I think the lowest pledge level is $1, and then it gives you access to just add-ons. If you just want to do the add-ons, that's cool too. If you just want to pledge $1, hey, thank you. Any little bit helps, but certainly don't let garden geckos get in the way of bunny drops. So if you're in for the bunnies and the bunny droppings, jump in and grab it. Cesar Ayala Delgado, again, very talented artist. Just a super good guy. I'm so grateful that he was willing to work with us on yet another campaign. 2 games, quite frankly, Bunny Drops and Garden Geckos. So kudos to him. He's a good dude. Backer Kit is our pledge manager, as well as helped us with the pre-promotion. So you probably saw a lot of ads over the past 3 weeks. Some of those, if it was a video ad, it was ads that I did. If it was static ads like on Facebook and so forth, that was Backer Kit Marketing. They've got a program called Backer Kit Launch. If you have any aspirations of doing your own Kickstarter campaign, I highly recommend, at the very least, you go on backerkit.com and you sign up for their launch program. I think it costs like $100. It's not a lot of money. But what that does is allows you to use their platform as almost like a MailChimp. So MailChimp, once you get over a certain number of emails that you're sending out, you have to pay for that anyways. BackerKit, you can use their platform. And what it does is it allows you to send messages from within BackerKit to your backers. So when you're doing updates, you're going to have less unsubscribes. Little factoid for you. Every time you do an e-blast, you can count on unsubscribes. Like I just checked this morning after that e-blast went out. Yesterday, just a reminder, 24 hours, we're going to be launching Kickstarter. 30 people unsubscribed. This morning, I sent out another e-blast. Guaranteed when I go and check it out, I'm going to have another 30 people that unsubscribe. So it costs money to acquire these leads. It's very expensive. In this campaign, I think it was $354 per lead to get the leads. And then, so when you have 30 of those people unsubscribe, I mean, ouch, that hurts. So the cool thing about BackerKit is there's less chance that the person's going to unsubscribe, right? Because BackerKit's pretty well known, and people want to get their notifications from BackerKit because they cover off tons of games. So great program to be part of. They've got a lot of tools in there that help you set your own meta ads if you want. So if you want to do your own campaign on the cheap, do it through BackerKit Launch. You don't even have to use them as a pledge manager, but just use their marketing. It's a great tool. Crowdfunding Nerds, again, another podcast, great podcast to listen to. But these guys, go to crowdfundingnerds.com. They have tools to help you with predictive models of, how much can I expect I'm going to fund? Well, put in all the information here. How many emails do you have? What's your pledge value? Blah, blah, blah. And it'll spit out kind of a prediction as to here's kind of what you're looking at, where you're going to land. Great tools. Go on launchboom.com. Lots of tools. Read, they have a book on here's some of the tips and tricks to launching campaigns. So, it's not random, right? A lot of this is very mathematical. As I said earlier, you can predict after day one with about an 80% confidence where you're going to end. But a lot of kind of the model, how to structure things is very formulaic. It's taken me 7 campaigns to figure out a lot of these formulas, and it seems to be now moving in the right direction, which is great. The fact that I've been able to fund on this campaign within 2 hours or just after 2 hours is testament to that. I'm following the steps, right? And if you can follow the predictive steps, you have a good chance of being successful. And, there's a lot of people that I meet on the podcast, and people reach out to me sometimes after the podcast saying, hey, I'm looking at doing a campaign. What is your advice? And my best advice is there's so many tools out there. Use them. What surprises me is when I talk to people where they'll be like, yeah, I did a lot of research, but then they're not using any of the tools. Simple things like even Kickstarter will tell you, if you have an animated image on your page, it's X percentage more people are going to pledge, right? So create a GIF and put it on your page. You don't have to pay somebody a lot of money to do GIFs. There's so many software programs available online for free where you can input images or a video and it'll turn it into an animated GIF for you, right? So record a video on your phone. If you look at this campaign, a lot of people are spending $5,000-$10,000 doing campaign videos. This video was done by me, right? Use my cell phone, table shots of the game. Like I could try to animate the game, but I have the physical game. Why don't I just shoot the game that's there? That's what I did. I shot the game. I did my own voiceover. Here's what this game is about. Me talking to camera. There is the one where you see the clamshell closing of the meeples that I did myself using some animated software, which is, what the heck is it? Blender. Not the easiest program to use. However, Ori Kagan from Kagan Productions, he has an off-the-shelf tutorial on how to use Blender. I think he charges like $75 for it. Maybe it's $100. Blender's free to download. You download it, get his program for $75, and it'll walk you through step by step on how to create an animated video. And he even includes templates to make a lot of that, do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. So there's tools out there, very, very cheap to do stuff yourself. Again, it takes time though, time invested, weekends, evenings, whenever you can, right? But if you love the hobby, it's something you're willing to put the time into. All right, so follow us. You can follow Tin Robot Games, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and on Discord. Please join our Discord channel. We're always looking for new people to join. It's kind of small right now, to be quite candid, but looking for more. Anytime we do like a tabletop simulator game or we're doing anything online, even we're playing like Board Game Arena, we'll jump into Tin Robot Games and we'll do like a voice chat there or video chat, and we can play with friends, play with colleagues around the world. Join our Discord. Podcast, as I said, you can click there. If you click on the web, it takes you to our entire back catalog of Board Game Binge. You can see every episode we've ever done. You can even search. So you can choose by type of game. So if there's a publisher, designers, artists, and it'll reduce the list to give you the episodes that pertain specifically to that filter. YouTube, Instagram, love to have your support. Please join us. Follow Garden Geckos on Board Game Geek. Please go on there and even click, I think you can say I want this game. That helps us in terms of algorithms and helping us rank. Kick Tracks, so I said at the top, we're ranking, I think, still number 1. If somebody could check on Kick Tracks. Let me see here. Where are we at Kick Tracks? Are we still on the hot list? We're still number 1. Holy cow. Still number one on Kick Tracks. That's amazing. That's exciting. God, that's super exciting. Click on this logo. It'll take you to the Kick Tracks page. That helps us rank on the hotness list. So it helps keep us near the top. So the more people click on this from different locations, so same person just can't keep clicking it, although I think that might help. It will take you to, it'll help us rank higher up on that page. The proof in the pudding will be if we can maintain. So after we get 2-3 days of some of these other giant campaigns that are launching today, if we can still stay on the hotness list, that would be awesome. Shipping. So we do charge shipping in the Pledge Manager afterwards. It's cheaper if you do an all-in bundle. So there's savings on shipping. There's savings on the bundle. If you want to just do add-ons on their own, then there's an incremental charge because things like shoving this in the box also makes the box bigger. So there's increased costs there and so forth in terms of how it cubes out. But what I will say is that we are customs-friendly shipping. So in all these countries we ship to, we send it direct duty paid. So you don't have to then pay duties when it arrives at your door. It arrives, you sign, you grab your game. There's no additional cost. So we cover off that. Little disclaimer, game specifics. Of course, there's always tweaks during the campaign, things that you're going to learn as you go into production. But my commitment is the game's going to get better, not worse. So right now, this box doesn't have spot UV on the reviewer copy. It's linen finish, but we're going to spot UV the title plate. I know some people are saying they're lukewarm on the font up here. I might change that, might punch it up a little bit. There'll be little tiny tweaks, but the game is essentially what you see is what you get. Inside lint printing definitely will still be there. And then art and graphics made by humans. So I'm going to say I'm not averse to AI. I've used AI on other games that we've taken straight to retail, where there are small games where, quite frankly, the economics aren't there to launch it without using AI. But where we can use people, we do. And this is a game where this is all humans, right? So Caesar is our artist. Graphic design I did myself. It's something I've been dabbling in for a number of years. So this is, and that's why some things people are like, well, you should have done that font differently, or because these are people working on this, right? This is us doing it ourselves and putting our best foot forward. But rest assured, this is humans that did this entire campaign. And by supporting us, you're supporting people. So thank you so much for that. All right. So that is the overview of the campaign. That just went for, a good hour. So where we're at right now, we're at, it looks like $13,693, 199 backers, almost at 200 backers. Thank you so much to everybody for your support on this campaign. If you're still with me right now watching this feed, I'm sorry if you've been giving us comments on Kickstarter. For some reason, the Kickstarter feed is not coming through anymore, which is bizarre. I don't know why. It is what it is, but I'll see how many people joined us on, not Kickstarter, on TikTok. Yeah, on TikTok. I'm tired, man. On TikTok. We'll see how many TikTok followers we have once we cut the feed. But thank you. What I would say is if you're still with me, please hit the follow button. I could use the followers. If they're showing up in your For You feed, give us a follow. It helps, again, with our algorithms. I know the word algorithm is used to death these days, but it is important. Follows count. Thumbs up count. On our Kickstarter page, pledging on day one counts. Even $1 gives us a number of backers, right? The number of backers following your campaign, that improves the algorithms as well. Clicking on, the day one pledging of Kick Tracks, that helps push us on the hot list. All these things help. So when someone says, geez, I might not have enough money, or I can't, you don't have to spend any money to help us. You can literally help us just by thumbing up, sharing, reposting. All these things cost no money, but are immensely helpful to us. So if you can do any of those, I want to thank you for that in advance for your help. I think I'm gonna go grab some food right now. I'm gonna answer some of the emails that have been blasting to me on this campaign. Probably gonna come back this afternoon and we'll continue on with another feed. And again, I want to thank everyone again so much for joining me live on this. Until later on today, guys, we'll be talking. Cheers. This has been an episode of the Board Game Binge podcast, hosted by James Staley Produced by James Staley and Mike Bruner, with original music by Nick Smith. If you would like to watch these interviews live, simply subscribe to our YouTube channel, Board Game Binge, and you'll get access to live interviews, giveaways, and interesting board game content from across the industry. I can't wait for you to join us. See you next time.